Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Big time win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Big time win. We needed this. We needed every bit of this dub. Don't get it twisted. Cavs came out. They was looking shaky for a little bit. But I'll tell you what, it's all about defense. And I think the Cavaliers showed you what they hang their hat on. I think they showed that determination. They showed you, hey, don't get scared. Don't get finicky now. Don't get finicky now. We right back into this thing. We right here. And that's one of the things that the Cavs did today. No Darius Garland. No Karis LeVert. None of those guys. And the Cavs still came out here and did what the Cavs were supposed to do. Welcome on into the Cavs postgame show. I'm your man, G. Bush. You know what we do. We right back at it. If you just saw me a couple of minutes ago, just understand it. I'm right back like I never left. Cavs, big time win today. We needed every bit of that win. People don't understand. Going down the backstretch to the playoffs, one of the things that you got to get is that these playoffs is not half the season. This is a sprint. This is about 24, 25 games. And as Austin Carr so eloquently pointed during that game, the Cavs are going to have a stretch of 16 games coming up in 30 days. 16 games in 30 days. And I think it's going to show, the Cavs, what that playoff is about, what that playoff experience is going to look to be. Because when you got 16 games in 30 days, that perfectly illustrates and that mimics exactly how the playoffs go. In the playoffs, you're playing every other day. Every other day you're playing in the playoffs. And when you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, not having their two starting guards, and the way that this game played out, and the grind that it was, playoff atmosphere. First of all, before we get into it, shout out to y'all out there. You can donate to the show on Cash App at $GBush91. Super Chat is available for those individuals that are out there on YouTube. Shout out to everybody out there. And as always, we were the first joints to have the VIP hotline. VIP hotline is 216-200-7859. And I want to salute all of the fans out there. When you watch this game, this reminded me of 2016, 15, 16, 17, all the way up to 18 in terms of what that crowd was like. The crowd was a playoff atmosphere, and when we needed it, the crowd lifted the team. The crowd lifted the team and really did its thing and really got behind the team and really propelled them to a victory. That place was loud. It was raucous. You couldn't hear the chance. The defense really helped the Cavs, especially the way Kyle Kuzma was shooting the ball. Kyle Kuzma was out here like he was on NBA. He's on fire. Kyle Kuzma could not miss during this game, but it just goes to show you what you can do to a person. You could cut a dude's water off. You cut their water off, and getting them to the basket. You can make him take contested shots and to give him credit. Kyle Kuzma was hitting them shots too. Kyle Kuzma was hitting some of those tough fadeaways, but you know what they say about the jumper. You live by the jumper, you die by the jumper. And some of them fadeaways, especially after playing double overtime games against the San Antonio Spurs, the previous game, I think that kind of showed up. I think it kind of showed up in that as well. If you just joining us, big time, man. Cavs win a big time game, 92-86 over the Washington Wizards. This game was not easy. This is a game the Cavs could have easily lost. Cavs could have easily lost this type of game, but on like anything, you have to have an identity as a team, and I think what the Cavs have done with JB Bickerstaff is they've shown, the Cleveland Cavaliers have shown that they can be a defensive team. They could be a team that could lock you up down the stretch, and I think one of the guys that really did that was a couple guys we'll mention later on here in a second. Isaac Okoro, I thought he played tremendous. This is where Isaac Okoro needs to be at. This is where Isaac Okoro needs to be at. This is the type of a game where he shows the way he can make his way in this league. Isaac Okoro is never going to be a guy that's going to hit you for 30. 35 points. If you're looking for Isaac Okoro to do that, that's not what his game is. Isaac Okoro is an energy guy. Isaac Okoro is a guy that is athletic, that can get out and get on a break, finish. And I think you saw what Isaac Okoro's best trait is, being able to get down in the defensive stance, move your feet, and be able to mirror guys side to side like he did with Kyle Kuzma and force him to take tough shots. I thought that sequence in the fourth quarter was very key. Kyle Kuzma had the ball at the top of the key fourth quarter. He's been hitting everything moving, and just little things like tipping the ball away and making him have to go get the ball and pass it and force a bad shot down the shot clock. Beautiful. That's what Isaac Okoro is going. That's where he's going to make his money. That's it. If you can get 12 to 14 out of Isaac Okoro a game and solid defense and elite defense, you'll take it. You'll take it. That's exactly what you want. And I think he was one of the MVPs down the stretch for what he was able to do against a guy that was hot and shooting the ball very well. You go to the Cavs defense. Cavs defense in the fourth quarter was elite. Man, I got chills to that a little bit. Because you don't see teams in the NBA playing that style and caliber defense in the regular season. You just don't see it. It's one of those things where I always talk about Evan Mobley and Jared Allen and some of those guys. They're too young to realize that they're not supposed to be doing that. Wait till a couple years away from now. They don't know they ain't supposed to be doing that, playing that defense, playing help side that well. And when you watch the Cavs bigs are second to none. When they switch on a pick and roll, and you got Jared Allen that may get switched off with a smaller man or a guard, the Cavs give nothing back to you. They give you nothing. Like, you're not going to just go at the top of the key and just take these dudes to the rack. They move their feet laterally. They do a good job of not fouling jump shooters. And that's one of the things that I always watch. When you get a big that's switching out on a pick and roll, 9 times out of 10, he's not used to playing in a bunch of empty space. So they don't know, where to go. They're not really in space. They don't know. And when they pull up for jumpers, bigs usually have poor closeouts and close out too late on the guy, or they close out and they don't close out under control and end up fouling their jump shooter. One of the worst fouls in the game. But if you watch the bigs for the Cavs and Mobley, as well as Markkanen and Allen, they do a tremendous job of closing out under control and just using their length as 7-footers to get that hand up. And sometimes they're going to hit those shots. Tonight, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope start hitting some of those. I believe Ish Smith start hitting some of those shots. Kyle Kuzma was hot all night. But here's the thing. You just want them to make tough shots. And if they're going to hit those tough shots, you congratulate them. But you look at it, this game was played in the 80s, 86 points for the Washington Wizards. And this was a playoff-style basketball game, knockdown, drag out. And I think it was really a really good performance by the Cavs, good performance by JB Bickerstaff, and going with some of the guys that were working with you. He went with the guys that were moving. And I think one of the things was moving Isaac Okoro into that game, and that helped you out a little bit as well. And he was able to put some stops together, and the Cavs were able to put stops together. 17-2 run in the fourth quarter. Man, oh man, listen, man. When I just tweeted this out, I said, man, when the Cavs are playing good ball, when the Cavs are out here really moving and shaking, when they're doing their thing, moving their feet defensively, they are a very tough team to beat. They're very tough to beat. Now it's about figuring out where you get the point production from if you're not going to have Garland and Karis LeVert on a nightly basis. Let's go to some of this chat. My man, Harry Baker, it did not look too good for most of the game. Somehow the Cavs pulled out a victory. Totally agree. I just really feel like it was a game where you thought the Cavs could lose. Because when the Cavs were down 8, I believe, in the third quarter, it just didn't look like the defense. Didn't look like the defense was there. And I was just asking myself, where are they going to get these points from? Hey, you know what it is. B. Skrill says, go Cavaliers 36-24. I will take that, my man. I will take all of that, my G. 36-24, and we got to keep it pace with some of these other guys too. I think, you take a look at it. Chicago Bulls are on a nice little long winning streak. I think they're 6-0. You look at the Boston Celtics. I think they're 9-1 or 10-1 in their last 11 games. They're balling, and we got to get these games here. We got a lot of games coming up at home. We got to win a lot of those games. We got another game coming up against the Hornets. Hornets are, one of those teams that always play the Cavs well. They play the Cavs very hard, and I think they just look at the last game. Last game they played them well as well. David CLE locked down Okoro. Hey, by the way, they need to give him. Listen, you keep playing like that, they're gonna give you the lockdown badge on NBA 2K, Okoro. We might lobby for you. We might have to get the developers of 2K on the phone and say, listen, get Isaac Okoro that lockdown badge. You're going to have to do it against some other players, though. I need you to see that do that against Jimmy Butler, DeMar DeRozan. I need you to do that against Tatum. But if you can keep balling like that, we can win games with that if we ain't got much offense, because your defense is locking boys up. DJ Who That the God says they pulled that out. Salute. That's all we want. We got all these players out, especially our guard play. That's all we want. That's all we want, man. Salute G Bush. You know what I give up. Ain't nobody working this hard in the game. You know what it is. I'm out here. We out here putting on for Browns and Cavs. Step your Cavs game up, people. I'm looking at a couple of people. Step your Cavs coverage up. Man, Buzzer Beater Production says Lauri could not miss today. Hey, so you stay up, Buzzer Beater Production, you stay off my notes. I was just about to go to that. You stay off my notes, bro. Brother, I appreciate you. Lauri Markkanen, man, ain't that great? Ain't that great when you can get a 7-footer that comes out of nowhere? Not even out of nowhere. But he comes back after injury, and he's 6 threes tonight. 6 threes tonight. He kept us in that game all the way. T-Wolves Monday. Hey, we got to get that. We got to get that. We got to have that Timberwolves. We got to have the Hornets. We got to have these games. These games like this, and I'm not saying that these teams are terrible or bad. These are the games you got to get, because you can't down the stretch just go and say, oh, we about to beat the Nets, or we going to beat the Bucks or the Heat. Those games are measuring rod games, right? For me, the Cavs have to figure out who they are and what their rotations are going to look like and get all of that squared away before they can even move around and talk about with the big dogs. But these is games that build character. You don't have no guards, and your bigs found a way to do it down the stretch. I thought it was very key. The stops that Allen was getting, stops that Mobley was getting, big-time blocks, extra effort rebounds by Allen. And by the way, Jarrett Allen is out here. How many times can you say this? You don't want your big guys on the floor because they can't shoot free throws. Jarrett Allen calmly walked up to the free throw line and knocked down 2 big free throws to help extend that game to a 3-point lead from a 1-point lead, right? Think about that. You don't really want your bigs in the game late night or late in the game, because necessarily they might not be the guys that you want touching the basketball. The luxury of the Cavs is they got 2 or 3 guys. Lauri Markkanen is a 7-footer shooting 85%. Jarrett Allen is a guy that you got confidence that can hit free throws. Mobley as well. So you still don't give up nothing. You can still play your big guys. You can still play the guys in your rotation like that. I definitely feel, this is a situation where it's a special unit. This is special teams, man. Special team out here, man. Karen Phillips says, love the Cavs, Browns, Guardians, and Ohio State. Love your channel. I watch all your videos. Thank you so much, Karen, for supporting me out there. So many people like you that give me the energy to continue to put out good content, to put out stuff to support the Cavs, the Browns, and the Guardians if they ever going to decide to play. Guardians, y'all going to play this year? You're welcome. Listen, I'm trying to get some Guardians gear. But thank you so much, Karen, for supporting the show. We need a point guard in the trade when Garland out, and we are pretty mid. I'll tell you this. I said this earlier on my radio show. Matter of fact, if you don't know, make sure you're checking out the barbershop. Make sure you check out the barbershop. You can listen to my show. Rewind it 24 hours on the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, and you can listen to the barbershop anywhere you go. I got my interviews up there. I got my show up there. Make sure you check out the barbershop on 92.3 The Fan every single Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please go ahead and do that. And if you didn't hit the like button, please hit the like button. If you're a person who likes Cavs content, this is content that is directed to, the Cavs is up and going, up and coming. And one of the things that we can do to support the squad and support the team is to be and have different content out here highlighting what we're doing special this year. So if you like this content, you follow the Cleveland Cavaliers, you believe this team has something special, please like this so this could get put out and shown to more Cavs fans all across the United States, and we'll continue to put up this content. So I thank you. Please hit that like button on the way in as well. You can also donate to the show. You can donate on Cash App at $GBush91, or you can definitely do it on Super Chat if you do so. Let's continue going on. Markkanen carried the Cavs with big shots. This is why we needed Lauri Markkanen back, because he has a unique skill set, and that unique skill set is just the fact that he's able to hit shots. He's able to, as a 7-footer, able to hit shots. I thought he was really aggressive when he needed to be aggressive, right? He was aggressive when he needed to get buckets, and I thought he did a really good job of posting up smaller players, drawing fouls on them. I think his offense was the key to this game, and really, generally speaking, I think he was the only guy besides Jarrett Allen that really, got it going. And Jarrett Allen didn't even have any points in the first half. Jarrett Allen then in the second half puts up 18, 12 rebounds, 13 rebounds. Definitely a great game from both of those guys. And it just goes back to this: when the Cavs are successful, you don't know who's going to get the glory. You don't know who's going to be the person who's going to put the points, where the defense is going to come from, but they always get it done. And you saw that tonight with a lockdown performance. Co-MVPs for me, Lauri Markkanen, 23 points, and Isaac Okoro's defense, and being able to get stops when you need it, especially in the fourth quarter, and able to shut down some of what was going on with the Washington Wizards as well. I always want to tell people, if you want to be on the show, if you want to get in the VIP line, if you want to talk about and get your instant reaction, I got 2 available slots. Those slots are available for Monday after the Minnesota Timberwolves game. If you want to definitely get some of that off, please hit me at fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. Just simply say, hey, man, G. Bush, man, I'm interested in going in the Cavs post-game show. Send me a just quick line. Don't have to be nothing special. And send me your phone number, and we'll get you on, and we'll get you hooked up. And you'll be able to share some of your feelings directly after the game. And that's how we do it here at the barbershop. Nobody takes more calls than me in regular radio. Nobody interacts with the fans like I do on Twitter. And nobody gives you a platform where you can get your money off, talk about the teams you love, and do it carefree. We ain't got to agree all the time. We could disagree sometimes, but it's about the fact that you get in that platform. Let's get back to the comments a little bit. Let's see. My name is that Jody? Is that Jody? I'm going to say Jody. My name is Jody. By the way, you looked very confused to say my full name. Shout out to Jody. You know what I like? See, that's the honesty. That's the honesty here in the barbershop. That's what I'm talking about right there. Jody, shout out to you for stepping back up. He's like, bro, you look confused in the face. Let me help you out, brother. Help me help you, right? Thank you, my man. And I appreciate you stepping into the barbershop with me. I'm always appreciative when I see new names, new faces in the chat, because that's how I know that content is reaching other people. It's reaching people, right? You get an opportunity to talk to new people, and that's always great. So, Jody, thank you for your support. Thank you for reaching back out to me, and thank you for supporting the content. Quincy, Isaac Okoro looked at Kuz and said, "No more." Yeah, he did. He was like, "No, no, 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 no." And Kyle Kuzma was feeling frisky today. I'm like, the LA Lakers, they have to be kicking themselves, right? I'm thinking the Lakers is 3-9 in their last 12 games or something crazy. They have to be looking like, man, what did we do this for? Why did we do it? Why? Why did we get rid of those people? All we have is Westbrook now. All we have is Russ. Mount Buzzer Beater Production says, even a tough offensive game, Goodwin still headed down running offense. That's another good point. Shout out to Goodwin. I think he has the ability to stick a little bit. He might be a guy that could be in this league for a little bit of time. He does a really good job of kind of getting us into some sets, getting us some plays. He doesn't hurt you too much. That's what you're looking for from a player that you getting from a 10-day contract that you're giving big time money to. Now, as far as big time playing time, what I mean by money, he's getting a lot of playing time now, and he doesn't hurt you too bad. He can knock down an open three occasionally. I think he can get to the basket. He's really good off the dribble. And he's not a defensive liability either. So I like his athleticism, his quickness, his raw tools. And I think that's something that should be highlighted as well. Goodwin is somebody who, I mean, when you look at it, you're down, you don't got Sexton, you don't got Garland, you don't got Rondo, you don't got Rubio. And now you got a guy like, got a guy like Godwin who is out here. I think it's Goodwin or Godwin. I'm going to say Goodwin. He might have to correct me. Goodwin is out there doing anything. Let's see. Thoughts on Browns and Jack Conklin reworking the contract. I actually thought that the Browns were going to maybe talk a little more about parting ways with Conklin. But at this point, I don't think that they're going to do that. I think they will actually give him the money, because here's the thing. It's going to take a lot of extra money and a lot of bread to actually go around and retool this offense. There's a lot of holes on this offense and defense. To me, you just look at defensive tackle. You can look at end if Clowney doesn't sign. You need a middle linebacker because Walker was a free agent. What are you doing with Malik McDowell now that he got arrested? Are you getting rid of Jarvis? Do you still need to draft a couple more receivers? There's so much stuff to talk about, but I think they'll end up keeping Conklin at where he is. I think they'll look to make Hooper. It's either Jarvis Landry or Hooper who are going to have to make a decision based on what they're going to do moving forward on a contract. Whether or not they're going to just give him, Jarvis, is you coming back for 10? Hooper, are they going to just say, he might be a cap casualty too, given his production? But we'll see. But I think that they will. I think Conklin will be fine, and they'll just continue as is. There are way too many times where I predicted a Mobley block. His defense is so good. Mobley, to me, Mobley is, I'll say, that's why he is a generational type player. Because, you could get 24, 25 points a game. Yeah, you can shoot three-pointers and do all that other stuff. But how many times have we waited or we've seen in the league guys just walk to the basket and get layups? I mean, if there was a knock on the old school Cavs when they won it, it was just their defense was atrocious. Like, even with Kyrie, even with LeBron and Kevin Love, I mean, teams used to walk to the basket and get layups. And everybody would be turning around looking at each other like, who's managed that? Who's managed that? Looking at each other. It was so annoying. But now you look at a guy who's a rookie that's able to not only understand where he needs to be on rotations, but he's also a guy that even if he's out front guarding a guard, you're not panicked about that. He can slide left and right. He has good lateral quickness. He has great timing when it comes to blocking shots. And this guy's not getting blown past. And even when he does get beat, he recovers so well with his length that it's just in the shots that he don't block, he's just changing them. He's affecting these shots with his length. And I just think that's the reason why, to me, it's not close for Rookie of the Year. It's not close for that award. And I think this is a guy who is going to be a perennial first-team all-defensive player. And that's why this team reminds me of the Spurs. They just do. They remind me of a team that's not very flashy. However, once they get good and dialed in and used to playing with each other for a long period of time, it's going to be hard to beat them. It's going to be hard to beat them. And especially if he develop any sort of jumper. Like, he already got a nice little mechanics. He already has good form. He can shoot free throws well enough. And his jump hook left and right got such nice touch. Like, today he catches that thing and it's just soft. It's right on the rim. Boom, boom. Nice touch around the rim. He's just, really, really quietly impressive. And you just look at the demeanor from Allen, Mobley, Garland, Okoro. I mean, they just got solid attitudes, man. Solid attitudes. Like, you don't see him complaining. You don't see him, getting technical fouls. You don't see him getting down on each other. They're genuinely nice guys that just play it right. They play it right, man. They play it right. Let's get back to some of the comments that we have in here. Let's see what we got. On your radio show this morning, you said Sexton's value is growing because of the instant office. You are right. This is a game where if Colin Sexton's playing this game, Washington's not close. And the reason I say Washington is not close if Colin Sexton is playing in this game is because Colin Sexton is going to give you those buckets. And now Colin Sexton, a year ago, without Jarrett Allen and without Evan Mobley and without Markkanen, him those couple years ago, guess what? He may get beat to the basket, and now it's a layup. You couldn't play those two guards. You couldn't play those two guard situations, right? Because you had two smaller guards in Garland and Sexton, no rim protectors. Guess what? That's not the case anymore. And it's not the case anymore that Colin Sexton has to play or is getting caught on the other team's best guard. You could play him with Isaac Okoro and finish all that up. Now he could be free to be a room on the offensive side of the ball. And if he gets beat to the basket, guess what? You got two rim protectors and another 7-footer down there to erase all that. So that's why his stock is rising daily. He rose his stock more by not playing than playing, which is crazy. Some people are up, he chilled out, and now his stock is up here because think about it. The Cavs struggle when Garland's not in. Cavs struggle, and they got to figure out what Karis LeVert is going to be. Colin Sexton already know that. He woke out of bed knowing what he got. You know how he going to get his. So, that's another piece I'm intrigued to see. But I definitely wholeheartedly believe that he's a guy out here that's raising his stock. We can't forget Jetty. I think Jetty's a dude that, and I can't believe they put him at point guard. But Jetty's a guy that don't really get it. I just think Jetty be happy to be out there. He'd be like, "Yo, I could be playing overseas somewhere. I'm with the Cavs. Shoot, I'm happy." He's just running around and hustling, and that's his thing. Jetty got a knack for hitting some big time shots. And we miss Sexton, man. We do. We miss Sexton as far as his points and his totals go. And I think if he gets back during the playoff time, I think he could really make some noise. I'm going to give K-Love a pass since he had multiple big games for us this season. Yeah, I'm going to give him a pass. That's the way That's the way the six-man thing works, right? You kind of have to, you give him a pass. He's had some big games. Some games he's not going to carry you, and that's fine. I would like Kevin Love more for what he can provide playoffs. That's why I look for the Kevin Love to really step up, because in the playoffs, if we struggling to get points, I think he's the guy that can get us those points in games for him. So, right now, he had a bad game. He's been kind of disappeared the last 2 games, but I think you're looking forward to Kevin Love being a guy where, you're looking to get his money off during the playoffs. Cody Anderson says, our defense can make it very tough on a team we play in the playoffs. If healthy, I believe we can compete with anyone in 7-game series. We have a solid roster top to bottom. I think they got a really solid roster if we're playing defense, but you got to understand something too. In the playoffs, everything's going to slow down a little bit. And understand that the shot making in the playoffs is tremendous. Some of these shots that these guys hit, Durant, Harden, Westbrook, Kyrie, LeBron, all Luka, all these guys that hit these shots in playoffs is ridiculous. Shot making goes up. The game grinds to a halt, and now you get the game plan for people. During the 3rd or 4th game of a series, you start actually hearing people call out each other's plays. They already know what's coming. It's just about whether or not you got a guy or two that can get his, even when you know it's coming. That's the thing about the NBA that makes the NBA so exciting, is figuring out how do you stop a guy when he just won't miss. And you can't afford to have 2 bad games in a row. William Wise, as always, man, thank you. I appreciate you supporting me on the Cavs content as well. Mobley is going to be a problem once he gains some weight. Once he hit them weights, he could eat a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's going to be a problem. And he don't got to be muscular weight-wise. All he got to be enough is that they can't move him off the block. Right now, when he's trying to post up, they're moving him 2 to 3 feet up the block and forcing him away from the basket. In a couple of years, he's going to be able to get that thing within 8 feet. And ain't nothing you're going to be able to do. Turn left, turn right, jump hook left, jump hook right, dead spot jumper. You ain't going to be able to do nothing with that. You just, like Shaq said, that's barbecue chicken. It's barbecue chicken. Get some of that barbecue chicken. It's barbecue chicken, dog. And it got it too deep. We need the Nets to beat the Bucks so we can move back in that 4th seed. Yeah, we need to stay, and that's a big thing. We need to stay in contention in that top 4. I think the Cavs is a good team, but I think it's a tall order if you're telling them that they gotta beat these teams on the road in the game 7 potentially. I think it's a rough ask, and the Cavs have a shot if they are at home, but they need to keep winning these games to stay up in that 1 through 4. We need to be 1 through 4. Quincy Carrier, shout out to Quincy. Make sure you go check out my guy, man, my brother Quincy Carrier over on the Worst Take for that Browns content. You already know what it is. Cavs team remind me a lot of the early 2000 Pistons team. Facts. Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, the Wallace twins, Rasheed, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. You know what I mean? I was just watching something the other day. Gary Payton was on Vlad TV, and he was talking about how, that team was just playing out of its mind, just working with each other. The synergy was on 100. He said, and it's the 04 Lakers. This the 04 Lakers with Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. Now, granted, Gary Payton and Karl Malone was outside of their prime, but that was prime Shaq and Kobe. Super prime. And it's like, yo, after we lost that first game to them, they was just locked in. Defensively, you couldn't get nothing off with them. And by the way, Rasheed Wallace is one of the most underrated players of all time. If y'all go back and check it out. Go back and check it out. Maybe y'all was asleep. But them the Jailblazers were a problem. They had Scottie Pippen, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells. Go check out Bonzi Wells. Come on, go check that out. They had, Antonio Davis. They had Brian Williams. They had Rasheed Wallace. They had Arvydas Sabonis. Come on, man. Come on, these boys, them Jailblazers back then, and it was prime Rasheed. Oh, it was a problem. Rasheed Wallace is full blown crazy, but I mean his mid range game, oh, ugly. Big three, Tower City, baby, Tower City, Tower City. Would I take LeBron back? I mean, at the end, I mean he can't go nowhere for 2 years. I'll take him back on a if he's gonna come out here on a free agent tip. You know what I'm saying? Free agent tip. But I can't give up nothing for you right now, dog. Can't give up nothing right now for you, cuz. You think Mobley is the next KG? I can't decide who he is to me yet. I can't decide whether he's KG or Tim Duncan. His body says KG. His demeanor is Tim Duncan. His skill set is a mixture of both. Duncan is a little bit bigger than him. KG is an elite defender, but he's not the KG wasn't the shot blocker that Mobley is. So, and he has a little Chris Bosh in his games too. But I think Chris Bosh was a little more fluid as far as hitting that jumper. Bosh hit that jumper consistently. That jumper was consistent. I think he got a little LaMarcus Aldridge in him too, from the standpoint that, you know, he can shoot the shot a little bit. I think he's a mixture of all five of those guys. But to be honest, the only guy that played at that lead of a level that early was Tim Duncan. KG took a couple of years. He came out of high school, but Tim Duncan was bona fide day one. Him and David Robinson. Ooh, I can see a little Jermaine O'Neal in that. Can see them. Jermaine O'Neal played for them Jailblazers too. Good gracious. Man, they had a squad. Ruben Patterson. I forgot about Ruben Patterson. These dudes had bona fide ball players everywhere. I can't believe that. Them Jailblazers was nice. Hey, Brandon Surratt Rasheed was one of the originators at the stretch four. Come and she used to shoot that ball up here. And he was out here wearing Air Force Ones, the high tops with the straps dangling. Who let you wear Air Force Ones with the high top? I can't believe that. I'm like, this dude is he's a super thug playing basketball. Man, them Jailblazers was nice. I think everybody doggone there had an 80. This one, the NBA Live was dope. Everybody had an 80 something rating. 82. Dang, everybody 82. Wow, Zach Randolph. Yeah, him too. Had Zach Randolph too. They're power forward. They're Brian Grant. They had ball players, bro. He can handle the ball better than KG. A little bit of Durant too, though. Well, Durant, that's hard to go with. Durant take the ball 55 feet, pull up from half court. You can't touch that. Can't touch that, man. Greg Anthony was also on that squad too. He was also on that squad. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna wrap this thing up, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Great win once again. To recap, Cavs. Cavs win this game 92-86 over the Wizards. Coming up next is the Minnesota Timberwolves. And once again, if you want to be a part of that show, call in. Go ahead and email me at fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. Just say, G Bush, let's go. I'm trying to join the hotline and we want to be on there as well. So that's going to wrap it up. Catch me next time on Monday. We'll be doing the same things, same time. And make sure you salute. Make sure you go ahead and share this. Make sure you like it. And make sure you always check out the Barbershop YouTube page. It gives you the most local sports, the stuff you want to hear. And we give that content out to you, doing double duty with the radio and this as well. And I want to thank everybody for showing up. Cavs win in rap. Cavs win 92-86. Everybody have a good night.